Wednesday morning, friends, or afternoon, or evening, or whenever you might be happening to join together online. For those who may not know me, I'm Reverend Jennifer Finley, our Momentum and Discipleship Pastor at First United Methodist Church here in Kirksville. And this is our weekly time in the middle of the week on a Wednesday morning to pause together and to take a deep breath. Today, at least here in Kirksville, I'm breathing in pretty moist, humid air as it's still a little bit wet and dreary. But wherever you are, whether the sun is shining or it is cloudy and gray, I am glad that we are able to join together for this pause. This pause has become really important to me in my own spiritual walk with God. This pause to ask ourselves and each other together once a week at least, where have we seen God? Where is God at work in our world, in our hearts and our minds and our souls and our community? And today I have an admission. I'm a pack rat. Some of you may know that. I come by it naturally. I'm the daughter of a librarian and an archivist. And I like to claim I'm an organized pack rat, but that's not always true. I like to save things. I love history. I love what we can learn from the artifacts of our lives. And yes, that's also an excuse to simply save things sometimes. But I've been in the middle of some late spring cleaning at my house. And last week, as I was looking around thinking, I really need to kind of rein in the clutter a little bit, my eyes fell on a couple of things that I hadn't looked at for a while. I sat in this chair. This is where I often do morning devotions or simply sit with a cup of coffee. And I felt my eyes fell to a basket over by the side that I hadn't looked at for a while, and it's kind of accumulated, not junk, but definitely it's the place where things land if they don't have a good home just yet. And I looked down and I saw this, just a candle. And then I looked in my dining room up on one of my shelves where I keep dishes and things and saw this. In some respects, just an ordinary paper bag. But those of you who worship with us and have journeyed with us in these last, well, year plus at this point, through the pandemic may recognize these as something slightly different than just things that accumulate around the house. For me, these are tangible reminders of God's faithfulness and God's presence. This bag, some of you may have one at your home, or you may have had at one point. These are luminary bags that way back, it feels like a long time ago, way back last October, late October into early November, we used as part of our All Saints worship services. A time when we were online only at the time. And so I had this and I didn't write anybody's name on it, but when I worshiped together with many of you from my home, um, I was reminded that I'm not alone. Some of you may know that at that particular Sunday, I was actually home, quarantined, isolated with COVID, and I was doing fine. But this was a tangible reminder to me that I was connected to all of the saints and to all of you, and it's hung out on my shelf since then. And then this candle, which kind of had gone unnoticed for a while. I'm not quite sure exactly why I hadn't put it someplace else yet, but it landed in this basket next to my chair because, along with many of you on Christmas Eve this past year, I worshiped online together and I raised my candle high. I sat in this chair and shared Holy Communion with many of you as we were online together. And these are tangible reminders both of God's presence with me in and through challenging times, God's presence. It's reminders to me of the goodness and the ways we're connected, and also reminders of times that maybe we don't want to repeat in quite those same ways. And I'm wondering if you also have those things, um, tangible symbols and signs of the times that we have been through. And as we are starting to move into new seasons and new rhythms, summer, into the fall, as the pandemic starts to allow us to have some new rhythms of life once again, I'm wondering, where have you seen God in the midst, and what tangible reminders do you have of God's presence? Now, some of those tangible reminders will probably either get put away, some of them we may no longer need and may get thrown away. For me, these two particular ones will probably get put away for a while, but I may pull them back out at times when I need that reminder that God is faithful through it all. Then there's this one. This one actually sits in my bowl where I put my keys so that I don't lose them when I come into the house. It's a little hand cross. Many of you may have one of these from about a year ago when we were connected as we were dispersed during COVID. This hand cross is one I won't put away. It actually often lands in my pocket as I leave my house for the office or as I leave for other activities. And is just a gentle, tangible reminder of the ways in which we are all connected, ways in which I'm connected to you all, even when I can't see all of your faces. And so I'm wondering, what are those reminders for you, both of the good and the challenging, of God's presence and of the hard things? Which ones of those are perhaps you looking at putting away for a season? And which ones may you pull out as reminders that God is with us? That is where I am seeing God moving in my life right now. And I wonder for you, what are those things that remind you that God is with us, that God is faithful? And as you do that spring cleaning around the house that many of us I know are doing, especially right now in this rainy season here in Kirksville, perhaps there are some that have met their usefulness and they are put away, and perhaps there's others that you pull out. Whatever it is for you, my hope and my prayer is that you know, deeply know, that God is with us. Go in peace, my friends. Amen.